Hey guys, how's it going? You guessed it, today's subject is, can anyone and everyone play guitar? Well, I'm going to give you the short answer and then I'm going to tell you why. The answer to that would be huge capital N, huge capital O. No, not anyone or everyone can learn to play guitar. Not even halfway decent, okay? It's impossible. The laws of the universe don't allow it, the laws of physics don't allow it, the laws of DNA does not allow it, okay? It just is not possible that everyone on this planet is more than capable with enough hard work and dedication of playing guitar, okay? And if you don't like that answer, tough beans. Suck it up, buttercup. It's fact. It's reality. If you don't like it, too bad, okay? But I've been teaching for over 25 years, and I've taught lots of people, and let me tell you, very few of them still play guitar. A lot of them, they quit, they've dropped out, they just went phew, because they can't do it, okay? Didn't matter how well set up the guitar ended up being. Doesn't matter if I switched them from a right hand to a left or a left to a right. Didn't matter if I got them properly sized for a guitar because they got improperly sized. Doesn't matter if we switched them off from something that was a piece of crap to something better, okay? It didn't make a difference with hardly any of them, okay? So very few people succeed at this instrument and a lot of people fail, okay? That's life, okay? Now, I've been playing myself for I'm on my 33rd year of knowing what I'm doing. But I've been on guitars and messing around with them since I was like 4 or 5 years old. Okay, same as piano, I've been messing with that too since I was a little kid. And I like piano, I think it's a cool instrument. And I'm actually learning and teaching at the same time, which is kind of a new concept, okay? And I'm doing not too bad at it, but I find it's very difficult to do piano compared to guitar. Mind you, I've got 33 years in, this is my 33rd year of playing guitar and knowing what I'm doing. Piano is still kind of fresh, even though I've been, messing around with pianos off and on here and there at church, at school, wherever, and I can improvise and play stuff that makes me sound like, I know what I'm doing when I really don't. But I'm now actually doing real chords and trying to put things together and all that jazz, right? And getting the idea and the hang of it. So I actually know I do have some skills to be a piano player, which is also awesome. I am also a very good trombone player, okay? Better at guitar though than trombone, but I can still play trombone rather well. Have years of experience at that. And, for that I had, it was in school, in the school band. Plus I had a private tutor as well. With guitar, I had 2 teachers. One male teacher, he taught me all this blues stuff. Okay, and my female teacher that I had, she taught me alright, so, and I had intense guitar training for 1 full year with teachers. After that I was on my own and I learned a lot from being in bands and all that other stuff and so on and so on. Right? So, I've been at this a long time and I've also owned a lot of guitars from the cheapest pieces of crap and I learned to fix them and make them playable, and I've had some really super high-end stuff over the years too, okay? And let me tell you that even those crappy guitars, a lot of them can be fixed, but it does take some money and, so if you're getting it done professionally, cha-ching! But if you can learn to do it yourself, it's not so bad. However, when you're starting to learn guitar, you don't know anything, so you need to actually learn to play. So you do need a decent guitar to start with, And when I was taking lessons, I had this piece of crap guitar from Sears. It was an electric guitar my parents bought me, and and it was a right-handed guitar that I switched the strings around on, and it couldn't tune worth of beans. But mind you, the intonation had to be reset to make it work, and I would have had to recut the nut, but I worked with what I had, and then my teacher convinced my parents to help me get a proper acoustic guitar. Because I also had a classical guitar then too, along with the electric. And the classical, it was not so bad for converting, but it had brass frets. And any guitar with brass frets is bad news. So stay away from guitars with brass frets. Okay, because those are the worst of all the worst guitars out there. You know, you can buy a piece of junk guitar with steel frets on it and actually repair it, you know, to make it more playable, but something with brass frets, forget it. Even a beginner would rip those apart in no time. Anyways, so I got a Dion acoustic steel string that got converted, because back in that day, I mean, hey, left-handed guitars were like, you know, double to triple the price of anything right-handed, even in the same model. So, you know, it was something that it had to be sorted out and dealt with, and I've mentioned this on other videos, so I'm going to try and cut that part short. But you'll get the idea. If you've got a properly set up guitar when you leave the music store, you know, and it's going to tune well and hold its tune and everything's set up, nice super low action, get you going type of thing, and you know, nothing's buzzing. So you know you got a good guitar when you leave there. The rest of it's up to you. Okay, now me and every other teacher on YouTube, Scott Groves, Will's Easy Guitar, Marty Songs, all of us, we can guarantee you one thing: we can teach anybody how to play guitar. We can, seriously, we can teach anybody and everybody, all right? But the problem is, not anybody and everybody can actually learn it, okay? And that's just the way it goes. Anybody can teach guitar that teaches guitar, but not everybody, being the students, you guys, are going to be able to learn this instrument. Some people also make things too hard, okay, or harder than what they really are, you know. But if you listen and you pay attention, you deal with, you know, curvature. You need to have proper curvature for each chord so that you make proper sounding chords. Now, the other thing is too, when it comes to learning guitar, is you've got to know what kind of frets are on your guitar. Okay, because a lot of people, I mean, you guys, you don't understand guitars. And you should be asking the guys to explain to you what the difference is between a guitar with medium jumbo to jumbo frets to skinny frets. What's the differences? Okay, well, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight. Okay, so you've already got a head start, because not all these guys at sales stores are going to really even be able to get that across to you. They'll get too technical. So I'm going to give you the plain dumbed down English version of it all. Skinny little fret on guitars, okay? I don't personally like them, but they are good for beginners because you can do the death grip, because everybody does. I don't know why, I did it too, right? And you're not going to change the pitch of the guitar no matter how hard you squeeze, right? But a properly set up guitar, even with skinny little frets, you're not going to have to squeeze that neck very hard, even on an acoustic, if it's set up right, okay? So that's one advantage of the skinny frets. Now, its drawbacks are they don't last as long as fat frets do, okay, whether they're mediums or full jumbos. And every company too has their idea of a full jumbo versus a medium. Okay, some companies would consider these a full jumbo fret, yet a full jumbo fret is really almost double the size of this. Okay, but with these fatter, taller frets, these guitars, and that goes for the acoustics too, okay, that have the fat jumbo frets, you don't press as hard on these things. If you do, you raise the pitch of the string and you cause the guitar to sound like it's out of tune, which will really screw with your brain when you're trying to learn guitar. So you got to realize that if you buy a guitar that's got thick frets on it, you can't squeeze those strings down to make the string touch the fretboard. You don't even have to. Like, I'm barely putting pressure here. I got a perfect sounding note. Okay? So, you know, you squeeze too hard, watch this. Listen. Okay, like a vibrato. So that's going to knock your guitar and sound it like the chord is not in tune, which means it'll sound like your intonation is shot. Here's a nice sounding chord. Proper pressure applied to these frets. Okay? Now watch me when I squeeze it here. Listen to it. Okay, you shouldn't hear that. That'd make me think, oh, the intonation's out, right? But it's not. It's I squeezed too hard. And it has nothing to do with it, because as soon as I back off to where I need to be, now it's solid, the way it should be. So on necks like this, guitars like this that have these fatter frets, you can't squeeze, because these are what I like to call speed necks. So you can do a lot of fast string bending. Makes the ultimate shredder guitar, right? Because you're not touching the fretboard, you're not causing drag, okay? You're right on the frets, you're always riding on the fret wires. So even your fingers don't physically touch the fretboard, okay? So these type of guitars, you can't press that hard, because when you do, it sounds like it's out of tune, okay? So you need to get used to that first, right? You gotta understand the guitar that's in your hands. Once you've got all that laid down, so you bought a guitar, you've had it professionally set up, it tunes well, it holds its tune, you got jumbo frets, now you know about jumbo frets and how to treat them for playing, that you barely have to have any pressure, which helps when you're doing fast playing, right? You can move real fast on this neck. Of course, you gotta work on the accuracy too. So, but you can move super fast because you're not putting much pressure, the strings don't touch the fretboard, nor do your fingers touch the physical fretboard at all. So you gotta understand this. Now, you've got that understood. Now you gotta practice your butt off for the next 6 months playing either a left-handed guitar or a right-handed guitar, whichever one you bought. And if you can't play after 6 months, and you've busted your buns every single day, you've paid attention, you've listened to the teachers on YouTube, you've listened to your own teacher that you pay for if you have one, you've studied and you've worked at it and you've worked at it and you've put every bit of energy into this thing, and you cannot play that guitar, then you need to switch the opposite guitar. So that means buying a whole new guitar. You're not converting this, okay? You'll wreck the guitar trying to convert it. Trust me, been there, done that lots of times. And of course, by the time guitars came down to equal price, then that was fine. Then I just bought real left-handed guitars and have ever since. Okay? But you need to go and get a real guitar in the opposite hand. Okay? Even if you get the exact same guitar, but left-handed or right-handed, whichever way you're switching to, you're learning again. You're starting all over from scratch, going the opposite way. Okay? So what do you do with the other guitar? Sell it. You're going to take a bath at least half selling it privately. It's a used guitar. You beat on it for 6 months. Even if you beat on it for 10 hours and you got rid of it, it's still half the money back, realistically, okay? You might get somebody who's a sucker who might give you a little bit more, so you can always try, right? Anyways, so you go to the opposite hand now. You do that for 6 months. You bust your buns. You do everything right. You do all, you know, dot the I's, cross the T's, everything perfect, the way you're supposed to do things. You've got another guitar that's completely set up properly, blah, 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 and you still can't get the hang of this, then you are not meant to be a guitar player, period. Okay? Zero. Okay? Because if you're not getting it and you can't figure stuff out, then you got a problem, and you can stop blaming the guitar. It's you. Okay? You do not have what it takes to be a guitar player at that point. Okay? But you've got to give it 100%, full honest, full out, 6 months. That don't work, make the flip, another 6 months. That doesn't work, give it up. You're just not made to be a guitar player. Because not everybody can play guitar. Some people make better bass players or better drum players, or they make a better piano player than they would ever make on a guitar, period. Okay? And if you still can't even do it, well, hey, I guess you're screwed. And not everybody's meant to play piano. Not everybody's meant to play any instruments. Some people aren't even meant to play an instrument, period, of any kind. Okay? Period. And that's just the laws of the universe. That's the the DNA, that's, you know, everything you want to put into the whole jumbo pile, okay, that is facts, right? Success is fewer than non-success. So there's more failure than there is success when it comes to any musical instrument with anybody, okay? So no, not everybody is made to play or meant to be able to play a guitar, okay? And so that is something that you've got to realize. It's something you need to deal with. That if you become one of those statistics that cannot do this, it's not your fault. It's just the way it is, you know? Plain and simple, you know? So don't beat yourself up. Don't bawl like a little baby. Don't get on the little poor pity job, okay? It's not your fault if you can't play. It's just the way it is. Maybe try a different instrument. You know, I mean, there may be an instrument out there for you. There may not be any. You know, it's, who knows, you know, but it is a fact. And after over 25 years of teaching myself and teaching piles and piles of people, and helping them in every way, including switchovers, setting up guitars, getting them into the right pick, all that other jazz, and yeah, more of them failed than what succeeded. It's just because not everybody's meant to play guitar. That's just the way it is. So no, the answer is absolutely, unequivocally no. Not everybody, or just anybody, is going to be able to or capable of playing guitar. Now, I'm not talking about becoming a professional either. I'm talking about any level of really being able to play, you know? I mean, and are you going to be happy if all you can do is... You're not a guitar player doing that, okay? A half-decent guitar player can still do this. Okay? And the list goes on and on and on, okay? Now, even some of the best guitar players in the world, I'll tell you right now, not every one of them can do all that lead crap. A lot of us are just meant to be rhythm players. I've been a rhythm player all my life. I never really got into any of that lead solo scale stuff, okay? But I'm starting to get into it now after, you know, playing for going on 33 years. Now I'm starting to do all that stuff and working on it and working it out. But I mean, I know I can do it. I just never did do it. I was never taught that stuff, you know, type of thing. And I was a rhythm guy. I like, you know, just doing this stuff. Everybody has to have their place in a band anyhow. Not everybody can be the lead soloist, you know, or the lead guitarist, you know. But the thing is, you know, if you want to learn this stuff, you can, you know, but you gotta know how to play, you know. So, not everybody's meant for this. Just accept it and move on, you know. If you're gonna be a guitar player, you're gonna be one. If you're not, try something different. I mean, hey, look at me. I mean, I play guitar. I know how to play trombone too. Haven't touched one in years, but I can pick it back up, and in a week I'm back to the square one where I left off, you know. It's like riding a bike. You fall off and you get back on and away you go. Piano, I mean, hey, I'm learning as you guys are learning, and you know, and I get a lot more time at practicing every day too than, you know, a lot of you guys do, because, you know, I'm home all the time and this is what I do. You know, I do all kinds of stuff. Actually more than music, but you know my channel, right? So, but the thing is I'm a very musically gifted person, you know, and I can learn any instrument really that I'm interested in and learn it fairly, you know, easily, you know. It's not difficult. It's only as difficult as I make it out to be, you know. And the same with guitar. It's going to only be as difficult as you make it out to be or allow it to be. You know, I'm going to be honest with you, okay, 100%. This is not the world's easiest instrument to play, okay? The world's easiest instrument to play is actually a trombone. The world's easiest, okay? when you start talking about a 6-string guitar, okay, 12 strings is just 6 strings more, same damn chords, okay? A little different tuning. But to play a 6-string guitar, I mean, doing these chords, I had a hard time when I first started doing chords. Because when I first started playing, I was just doing... And even that was a struggle at first, because it's always hard until you learn it, until you master it, okay? When I started playing chords, I was real shaky. I was like, you know, but then I thought, you know what, I had enough playing crappy. I decided it was time. And I started working at it, and 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 I got it, you know, and it's like... Okay? A lot of practice, a lot of practice, a lot of determination. Can do it attitude. I can do it. I can do it. I will do this. And you've got to get that drive. And if you've got the drive and you have talent within your DNA somewhere to play guitar, you will do it. Otherwise, if you don't, sorry, you're just not meant to be a guitar player, and that's the way it goes. Okay? So I think we pretty much covered everything we need to, but if you do have some questions, feel free to ask, and I'll always do the best I can to answer them, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.